What is Creator Circle? It's time that I share my answer to that again because I have a better idea now after launching and creating 10 Creator Circles. And I'll start with a dream I had recently. Weird dream, very vivid, very lucid. There were like two birds in like this empty kind of European cobblestone street. I came out of a building and they were like kind of following towards me and they had human faces. And one of them in particular is following me close. And I don't remember how the conversation started, but we started talking. And I asked the bird if it read my book. I haven't written a book. So in the dream, I'd written a book. And it said, no, I didn't read it, but I skimmed through it. And I love the essence of it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what do you mean? He said, and the bird said, I love what the questions that you share do to a person. I was like, what the questions do to a person? That's what I took with me from the dream into waking consciousness. And I reflected on that, thinking about the work that we do in creating, somewhat alignment with the book, so to speak. Yes, I'll write a book someday, but I haven't yet. The work that we do in creating all centers around a handful of questions, right? Questions like, how are you creating this? Questions like, what would you love to create today? And on the surface, it's just another question, right? Maybe it's useful, but the thing is, when you're in a space like Creator Circle, which is you're in a group of people that are facing this same question over and over and over again, not on the surface, but deeply. Questions like this on a recurring basis inside a container that's intimate, where there's a lot of trust, on a recurring basis for a long period of time. What happens is that question starts to become not just something that could provide an insight or an answer or some useful perspective, is that question becomes a tool that does something to you. And this is what the bird with the face and the dream made real obvious to me. I started Creator Circle years ago when I was a coach. And as a coach, my conscious understanding of what I was doing was helping clients to create results. And the way that I would help them to create the results is to grow in the way of seeing themselves in the world so that they could create the results. And over time, what's become more clear, and thanks to this dream even clearer, is that what I actually do is have conversations with people, and we play the game of creating results so that I can do something to them, so that we can do something to them. What is it that we want to do to people? We want to grow them in their freedom. We want to grow them in being more immersed in love, not just like, oh, I love that, but love as a source of being, as the unfolding of the universe, being more surrendered to God, to intuition, to spirit. You could say it in all different ways. We use the word love, immersed in love, living as love, all of that in service of giving them more power, not power over people, but the power to create. So I'm way more interested, and I always have been. It's just become more clear to me, and thanks to a couple birds with human faces, that all the work of creating, what it's about, and especially within the context of Creator Circle, more than anywhere else, any other program that we have, it's literally about growing you and your consciousness, in your spirit, in your heart, as somebody who's freer, who's more in love, not like in love with something, but in love, experiencing love, and who has more power to create. Now, we'll hang a carrot on a stick of some material outcome, and we'll help you get that carrot. We'll get it off the stick so you can actually eat it. But we're doing that for a reason that's deeper. And that reason is to grow you, to change you, to make you be more free-loving and powerful. And the way that we do that is with questions. You could call it coaching, but if you do that, I think it's kind of a bastardization. It's kind of diminishing it, because then what coaching usually means, it's about, like a coach, let me help you perform. Let me help you to get some outcome, to achieve something. For us, that's secondary. What matters to us really is you as a creator. You're in your freedom, your love, and your power. And we're going to help you to become that by doing something to you through dialogue. We're doing it to you. We're not doing it for you. We're doing it to you. What are we doing? We're not making you more free. What we're doing is we're asking you questions. We're holding you in the space of a certain way of thinking and a certain way of talking to yourself that orients you into certain positions. Positions like, love can be the primary orienting principle of my life. But would you love to create today? What happens when that becomes habit? When that becomes the way you wake up in the morning? You rediscover the childlike wonder of a child, because that's what we're coming to the world with. We are the expression of love, and it gets beaten out of us through industrial education systems and corporate ideologies. You're not here, you can't just do what you love. Well, in creating, we are that. We do only what we love. And that's just an idea on a shelf or in a book or in a video until you live a question like, what would you love to create today, habitually, over and over and over again, till it becomes your primary orientation. And when you're oriented with that question, what happens is you get insight from that direction and you act on it. That's one of the things that question does to you. But what else does the question, what would you love to create today, do to you? Whenever you ask it of yourself or somebody else is asking it of you. Well, it has you think about creating as your orientation, not what should I do today? What would I love to make happen? No, create. What would I love to happen? No, create. You have agency, you have a role to play. So every question that we ask is designed to do something to you, in the sense where it's designed to have you see yourself and the world from a new perspective, a perspective from which only more freedom, more love, and more power can exist. How are you creating this? You can't look at that question over and over again without, number one, starting to feel at fault for everything in a very heavy and onerous way. And that, we know, we get it. We know that that question is weaponized and that people are going to pummel themselves with it and feel like shit. But we got you. We take your money up front. We got a safe container. You're not going anywhere. You're good. And you got to go through that, because until you transcend the idea of fault in the realm of I am creating everything, you can't liberate yourself from that and go through it to the place of like, holy shit, I'm free and I'm creating everything. I don't judge myself. So in order for us to help you to not judge yourself and beat yourself up, we got to give you carte blanche to do it in a really powerful way. It's all intentional. So Creator Circle is not about just helping you make more money and have better relationships. We just finished up Creator Circle 9 today. I was there for the last hour. Everybody's sharing what the celebration of Darren, who led the circle, of themselves. Yeah, people, all sorts of things. We've got clients that 10x their business, 10 times the income, started new businesses, went from being, single and in a tough time to being in a new relationship and pregnant and having a new family. It's like, it's so beautiful what happens in the material world, what can happen in that span of time. It's incredible. And every single person there in that circle finishing up, and every circle we've ever done, all of that is secondary to the value that they feel about the way they see themselves, the way they see the world, how they feel about themselves, waking up in the morning with love as a primary orientation, how free they are. That's what it's really about. So if you join Creator Circle, you're signing up for, we're going to have a specific material outcome. We need that. We need a North Star. We need something in the world for you to be aimed at. Why do we need that? Because we need you being able to know whether or not you're taking action in the world to move towards something, so that we can have you in the context where you're confronting your stuff on the inside. All right, so we want that, we're going to have that, and we're going to aim towards it. But all of that is in service of you growing as a human being, becoming, look, the fact of the matter is, people don't stop growing up when they stop growing in height. You can continue to develop. Most adults do not develop when they hit 20, 25 years old, they stop. I mean, go check out the Harvard psychologist Robert Kegan's work on this too. He calls it the further reaches of adult development. You can continue to grow, but you're not going to unless you get in over your head, he calls it. Creator Circle is putting you in over your head. You're going to be in a conversation on a regular basis that forces you to think in ways that take you beyond your current ways of seeing, that put you in a position of agency and power that sometimes can feel overwhelming and onerous, which creates the context and possibility for us to liberate you from levels of judgment that you can't even see right now, which means you're more free, right? So I'm kind of going in circles, I think, right now, but you got the point. Freedom, love, and power is what Creator Circle is all about. We help you to be there by holding you in a space of a certain inquiry over a period of time. The way you learn to talk with us in Creator Circle will become the way you talk to yourself. The way that your dialogue with yourself advances is what grows you and evolves you. That's what Creator Circle is really about. So Creator Circle 11 is filling. Lindsay is your guide. It's $9,600 paid up front in full, 8 months. You're with her 3 times a month. You're in peer support once or twice a month. You're with me twice a month. There's an incredible amount of support for 8 months. If you're on the fence, get off it, get committed, get in. It will change your life, I promise. And if you haven't spoken to us yet, then schedule a call so you can actually experience these ideas and you can have an embodied knowing that this is the right path for you, not just a curiosity. I love you. I look forward to being with you, and I'll talk to you soon.